Welcome to Star Bios, the ultimate destination for diving into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most iconic stars. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on a true screen siren of the 1960s, the enchanting Sandra Dee. With her signature blonde pixie cut, charming on-screen presence, and tumultuous personal life, Sandra Dee captivated audiences with her unique blend of vulnerability and charisma. Born Alexandra Zuck on April 23, 1942, in Bayonne, New Jersey, Sandra Dee's early life was marked by a mix of humble beginnings and a dash of old-school glamour. Her parents, John and Mary Zuck, were high school sweethearts who married young and worked tirelessly to provide for their family. The Zucks lived in a cozy two-bedroom apartment on Avenue C, in the heart of Bayonne's vibrant downtown area. This charming neighborhood, with its bustling shops, restaurants, and theaters, would later inspire Sandra's love of performance and entertainment. As a child, Sandra was a shy and introverted girl who found solace in her imagination and creative pursuits. She spent hours playing dress-up with her mother's old clothes, putting on makeshift shows for the family, and dancing to the tunes of Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday. Her parents, though not affluent, encouraged her love of the arts, enrolling her in local dance classes and nurturing her passion for music. The Zucks were a close-knit family, with Sandra's mother serving as a constant source of support and encouragement. Mary Zuck was a fierce protector of her daughter, often going to great lengths to ensure that Sandra had every opportunity to pursue her dreams. She sewed Sandra's costumes, drove her to auditions, and cheered her on at local talent shows. This unwavering support would later prove instrumental in Sandra's rise to fame. Growing up in the 1940s and 1950s, Sandra was influenced by the cultural and social norms of the time. She was a product of post-war America, with its emphasis on traditional values and conformity. Yet, she was also part of a new generation of young people who were beginning to challenge these norms and forge their own paths. As a teenager, Sandra began to make a name for herself in local talent shows and modeling competitions, showcasing her charisma and stage presence. In 1957, at the age of 15, Sandra won a contract with the prestigious modeling agency, John Robert Powers. It was through this agency that she landed her first major gig, a national television commercial for Coke, which aired during the popular game show, The $64 Question. This early success marked the beginning of Sandra's ascent to stardom and set the stage for her future triumphs in film and television. As we explore the early life of Sandra Dee, it becomes clear that her formative years were shaped by a combination of talent, hard work, and dedication. With the support of her loving family and the encouragement of her community, Sandra was able to nurture her creative spirit and develop the skills that would eventually make her a Hollywood legend. As we pick up the story, Sandra is on the cusp of stardom, having just won a contract with the prestigious Universal Studios at the age of 17. It was 1959, and the studio system was still in full swing, with major studios like Universal, MGM, and Paramount dominating the film industry. Sandra's contract marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey, one that would take her from obscurity to international fame. Sandra's early years at Universal were a whirlwind of activity, with the young actress appearing in a string of films, including The Restless Years, A Stranger in My Arms, and Gidget. The latter film, released in 1959, would prove to be a breakout role for Sandra, cementing her status as a rising star. Her portrayal of Frances Lawrence, a free-spirited teenager who becomes embroiled in a romance with a charismatic surfer, showcased her unique blend of vulnerability and charm. The success of Gidget led to a string of similar roles, including Gidget Goes Hawaiian and Tammy, Tell Me True. These films solidified Sandra's position as the quintessential girl next door, a status she would maintain throughout her career. With her signature blonde pixie cut, charming on-screen presence, and undeniable talent, Sandra became the darling of American audiences. In 1960, Sandra met and fell in love with pop star Bobby Darin, whom she would marry later that year. The couple's whirlwind romance was highly publicized, with the media dubbing them America's sweethearts. Their marriage was marked by a deep passion for music, film, and each other, but it was also tumultuous, with rumors of infidelity and creative differences. Despite the challenges in her personal life, Sandra continued to thrive professionally. Her iconic roles in films like A Summer Place and Come September showcased her range as an actress and cemented her status as a Hollywood legend. In A Summer Place, Sandra's portrayal of Molly, a young woman from a wealthy family who becomes embroiled in a romance with a working-class boy, highlighted her ability to convey depth and nuance on screen. As the 1960s progressed, Sandra found herself at the forefront of a new generation of actresses, one that included icons like Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe, and Natalie Wood Durteo. These women were redefining the role of women in film, pushing boundaries and challenging social norms. Sandra's own experiences as a young woman in Hollywood would later inform her advocacy for women's rights and her support for emerging female talent. With the support of her loving family, her team at Universal Studios, and her own unwavering passion for her craft, Sandra was able to overcome obstacles and achieve greatness. As the 1960s drew to a close, Sandra's personal life began to unravel. Her marriage to Bobby Darin had ended in divorce in 1967, and she found herself struggling to cope with the pressures of fame. She turned to alcohol and prescription medications to numb her emotions, but this only led to a downward spiral of addiction. Despite her best efforts, Sandra's health began to decline, and she was eventually hospitalized for exhaustion. In the 1970s, Sandra's career slowed significantly as she struggled to come to terms with her personal demons. She made sporadic appearances in film and television, but her performances were often lackluster, and she found it difficult to regain her former footing in the industry. It wasn't until the 1980s, when Sandra began to speak publicly about her struggles with addiction, that she started to rebuild her life. Sandra's advocacy for women's rights and her support for emerging female talent also became a major focus of her later years. She worked tirelessly to promote equality in the film industry, using her platform to raise awareness about issues such as pay disparity and sexism. Her efforts were recognized with numerous awards and accolades, including a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In the 1990s and 2000s, Sandra experienced a resurgence of popularity, thanks in part to the nostalgia for old Hollywood that swept the nation. She appeared in documentaries and interviews, sharing her insights into the golden age of cinema and offering advice to young actresses just starting out. Her iconic roles in films like Gidget and A Summer Place continued to inspire new generations of fans who marveled at her talent, beauty, and enduring charm. Sandra Dee passed away on February 20, 2025, at the age of 62, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate audiences to this day. Her impact on American cinema is immeasurable, and her contributions to the women's movement have inspired countless young women to pursue careers in film and beyond. As we reflect on Sandra's extraordinary life, it becomes clear that her struggles and triumphs, both on and off screen, have left an indelible mark on our culture. In the words of Sandra herself, "I've been through a lot, but I'm still here, and I'm still kicking." Her spirit, resilience, and determination continue to inspire us all, and her place in the pantheon of Hollywood legends remains forever secure. As we conclude this journey through Sandra Dee's life, we're reminded that true stardom is not just about talent or fame, but about the enduring power of the human spirit. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.